Now, J Picollo is the assistant GM for the Kansas City Royals. His Royals in Chicago for an interesting series against the White Sox. But he has a very strong personal connection to the Appalachian League because his son Ryan will be playing in that league this summer. Now, JJ, thank you for joining us this morning. We talked about your son Ryan. He currently plays for St. Joseph University in Philadelphia. And yesterday he got his first base hit, and it came in a pretty good spot. Let's listen to this.
Big opportunity here for the freshman. 0 for 1 today, went down on strikes in his first at-bat. And the first pitch. Line drive, left field, and it is a base hit, and the ball game is tied. RBI for Picollo, and the freshman ties this game up at 2.
Oh, that's great. Now, we should mention, JJ, that was Pat McCarthy on the call. His dad, Tom, is the TV voice for the Philadelphia Phillies. And, JJ, I could see just the pride in your face as you were watching that. Congratulations, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It was a great moment for him. His grandparents were there to see it. So happy for him. He had to wait a couple of weeks being contact traced, but, good moment. One to always remember.
JJ, give me the player profile on your son.
You know what, Dero? He's a big dude. He's 6'5", 235. So I don't know. I mean, he's just a kid, and I don't know where he got that size from, but he's kind of growing into his body now and learning how to move those big parts.
JJ, what is your approach when you are talking with your son? Obviously, you're in the industry. You know the game very well. But how do you approach your son as, interacting with him about his baseball career?
Yeah, it's a balance. You have to give him his space. You watch things, you see things, you want to say something all the time, but you got to control what it is, and you got to let the game play out. I mean, he's got a lot to learn. He's sort of a late bloomer. He grew late, so he's got a lot to learn. But the best times are when he asks. If he asks a question, I'm happy to answer. Once in a while, I can't control myself. I want to tell him what I see, but it's a balance, and I've gone through with my older son as well.
Now, JJ, Dayton Moore is your boss, and he also has a son who is coming up. He's in college. How much do you guys talk about this in the office, about how your sons are doing?
Well, we've got kind of a neat dynamic here. We're a really close-knit front office. We grew up together. We played, in a lot of cases, played with each other. A lot of us played for Dayton. Robert and my son Ryan grew up playing together. They're the same age. Robert's just a great player. He's fun to watch. So we talk about the different experiences, how we need to handle things. Oftentimes throughout our buildings here, it's not just Dayton's son or my son. There's other guys whose kids are playing. We got the games on, and everybody's interested in how their kids are doing. It's sort of a nice way to get away from the Royals business and just talk about how our families are doing.
JJ, you know how I feel about Dayton and the Royals organization. You guys always do everything, I think, first class. And I think that was evident again with the Sal Perez extension. Can you kind of take me through that? Because that was interesting. I felt like, we slow played him earlier in his career, and then $82 million on the back end, just doing it the right way.
Yeah, well, it was really important to the organization. We don't get a chance all too often in today's game to have somebody break in as a Royal and then end their career as a Royal. I mean, a lot has to happen for that to work out. So Dayton really set the tone for that, as he always does. This past offseason, and John Sherman, our owner, was all ears, and little by little it started to come through. And I think it's a great indication of the commitment we want to make to our players, how we want players to be long-term Royals. And when you have special players, you want to keep them, and it's hard to keep them, whether you're the Royals or any other team. So I think it was a really big moment for us. It's a boost at a time when we're starting to get some younger players, in particular our pitching staff. I mean, our pitching staff needs guys, in this case, Salvi, to lead them. So it's a huge move for us, and it'll pay dividends for a lot of years to come.
JJ, Bobby Witt Jr. was the talk of spring training. What is the plan for him? What do you want to see before he eventually makes his Major League debut?
Well, he's a really special player, as we all know, and he was so impressive in spring training. I've always talked about just the way he plays the game. There's an innocence to the way he plays the game, but there's also a maturity to the way he goes about things. We've had him play shortstop, third base, now second base a little bit. It's just a matter of getting more at bats against upper level pitching. He's played 37 games in an actual season. He did face a lot of really good pitching last summer and handled it well within our own organization at the alternate site. But I think there's something to be said for doing it against others during a championship season when your batting average and your slugging percentage and your on-base percentage, all those things are scrutinized, and he'll get the opportunity to go through that this year. But, Bobby's advanced. There's no question. We're well aware of it, and now it's just a matter of timing and preparation, and Bobby's going to be with us for a long time.
JJ, your team takes on the Chicago White Sox in Chicago a little bit later today. Where do you see the Royals as it pertains to kind of the overall landscape of the American League Central? Known commodities like the White Sox and the Minnesota Twins. Where do you think the Royals fit in there?
Well, it's a tough division. There's no question. It's a tough division, but we really like the depth in our lineup right now. I mean, 1 through 9, we feel like we can score some runs. It's better than it's been in 4 or 5 years. We've shown, the bottom of our lineup this first week has been outstanding. And if they can have, a fraction of that production, I think we're going to score some runs. And then it just comes down to our starting pitching. If we can be consistent with our starting pitching, our bullpen, we feel really good about. If we're consistent with starting pitching, then I think we'll be able to contend. And, a lot has to be done. And we have some, this series with Chicago, they had our number last year, but this is a big series and it's a different year. So we'll see how we respond to the White Sox this weekend.
JJ, we appreciate you joining us this morning here on Central. Good luck the rest of the way, and best of luck to your son, Ryan, as he makes his way through his freshman season at St. Joseph's University.
Thank you, guys.